Let's see. She's joining us. I think maybe it's her network. She's joining us now. Let's see. Okay, she's back. She's joining us now. Laide, good to see you.
Morning.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
Lady.
Hi,
Hello,
Lady.
everyone.
Hi, Lady.
Sorry.
Good morning.
Sorry, I'm in a bad
Good
mood.
morning.
Okay.
Oh,
Good
Sorry.
morning. No.
Okay, Pele.
I've
So
been
let us welcome the author,
Good
Ayodele
morning.
Olofintuade. Did I say that?
Olofintuade. Olofintuade.
Olofintuade. Okay. I hope I
Yes.
said it right.
Well, we'll let her teach us.
So good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. I think her network, okay. Yeah, good morning from this end. It's nice to meet
Yes.
you.
Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me? Is she frozen? So everybody, please kindly mute yourselves. Remember to use the raise hand button at the bottom there, so that we just hear the author. Yes. So nice to meet you. Let's see. Okay.
Yes, yes, I can hear you, actually. Um,
This network. Okay, she's back on. So the network. She's joining us from Nigeria. So
I don't share our network.
I'm not shading it. Oh, is it MTN or Glow? I'm not shading me. I'm just happy.
Yes,
I'm happy to have
definitely.
her here.
oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing my network. Welcome. I hope you
Okay.
can hear me.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, I think that okay, there's a delay in I think the delivery of my voice. Then, but I'll go ahead. I've never heard this word, Lakiriboto, and I asked a lot of Yoruba people, and everybody gave me different meanings, explanation. But the one I remember is people said at work said it means a woman without a vagina. That's how it was explained to me. So, welcome to the Ottawa Black Book Club. Thank you for this book and thank you for taking us there. You took us places. I don't know if I can give my mom this book to read now, but you took us there. So which is great. So please talk to us about you and talk to us about your inspiration for this.
Thank you so much, Lady Louisa. Thank you so much, Lady. I mean, thanks. I mean, this is like the work of so many, not sure and all that, and we're here today. So my name is Ayodele Olofintuade. I'm an Iyalorisha of Obatala. Um, I've I've been writing for a long time. My first book was a children's book titled End of Story. I hope you can hear me in spite of
Yes,
the lag. Okay.
yes,
So the title of my first book was End of Story. And it talks about child witches. There was a time in Nigeria that Helen Ukwabi was basically traumatizing children and calling them witches and torturing them. Yes. So it was around that time that I was commissioned to write my first book, End of Story, which like got on the NLNG list. And it was my experience with the NLNG prize that actually kind of disenfranchised me with the idea of being a Nigerian writer, with the idea of being a Nigerian itself, the idea of being pegged, pigeonholed as a woman. Um, and it was during this period of like a very difficult period in my life, I'm not going to lie, that I started writing Lakiriboto. The original title was Lakiriboto Chronicles, A Brief History of Badly Behaved Women.
mhm,
I love titling my books. The title of my books are very, very long. Um, because I wanted to like ensure that nobody will be in doubt of what I'm going to be talking about in my book. I read a lot. I taught in many schools. I ran libraries. I love reading. So, but in all these books, I hardly ever see myself in the books. I hardly ever see the kind of person I am in the books. It's always about women suffering and then, or women dying or suffering, and then they die or something like that. It's very misogynistic the way women characters are treated in Nigeria. Look at it. Black bodies, particularly Black women, are treated a certain way in fiction, in films, in writings, in anything imaginable, in comics. You know, it's always like that Black body, that Black woman body is always like the last line of defense. She's the magical Negro and all that. And I wanted to write a book where I can see myself and the way I see the world in it. And that was why I wrote Lakiriboto Chronicles. And of course, nobody wanted to publish it in Nigeria. I think it was around that time that Lydia and I met because she was one of the first that I sold a copy of the ebook too, because stores and they were flying off the shelf. Just people were ordering from everywhere. And then my next book actually got a publisher because Lakiriboto, they saw that people like those kind of stories. They just don't want to be seen reading those kind of stories. They'll order, they'll buy, they'll read, but they will not review. You get. And then when publishers saw that my books actually sell, like I've published about 3 more books after that. I'm currently writing a trilogy. I've written the first 2 parts of trilogy, and the third one is coming out. So I'm going to go back to Lady Lucia's question about what Lakiriboto means and why you will have different people telling you different answers. The different responses come from different places, from different persons, and the way they see the world. Um, Yoruba language is a very, very layered language. Lakiriboto itself refers to a kola nut, a particular kind of kola nut. If you permit me to say it in Yoruba, wọ́n ní alákòláwẹ́ ajẹ́kòdù. Lakiriboto is a kola nut that when you break it, it doesn't have, you can't break it. Because you know, like kola nuts, they have these lines through where you can break it. Abata has 4, Banja has 2, some Abata have 3. But like Lakiriboto, the kola nut called Lakiriboto is actually doesn't have lines. You can't break it. And you can't eat it because it's always bitter.
Okay.
Then Lakiriboto is also a medical term for intersex persons in Yoruba language.
Oh,
One of the things that we lost in our language is are the medicals. Like when we stopped speaking our language, we forgot the medicals. The fact that we are actually a very, very advanced civilization. People say I see every day. Yes,
sorry
yes.
to cut you off, love. It's like,
Can you hear me?
perhaps, yeah. Well, you break up often, and we're enjoying our conversation. I'm just wondering if you could try another location. Sorry to bother. Thank you.
No, what I can do is switch off my video a bit, so that you can hear me clearly. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Let's
that
If
works.
I
let's
switch
We
off
test.
my
want we want
video, be
yeah, we want
clearer.
to hear you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Can you hear me clearly now? Am I
Yes,
still breaking
better.
up?
It's better now. Yes. Yes.
How about here?
It's fantastic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's good. It's good. We can hear you now.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm moving to another location as Lady suggested.
Okay.
Okay, so basically Lakiriboto is also a medical term for intersex persons. And this has a reason because for example, the people that are called Oloshun, people who are the Olorisha of Oshun, what they actually are like they are medical doctors. They focus on reproductive health. They
Mm-hmm.
focus on reproductive health. Oshun, that's why when they sing of Oshun, they say, Sele Ruagbo Agbara Agbo Losun fi ń wẹmọ rẹ̀ kí dókítà ó tó dé. So Oshun, the Aborisha of Oshun, those who take care of Oshun are medical doctors. They have different aspects. They have those who deal directly with issues directly relating to reproductive health, women's reproductive health specifically, but not just women's reproductive health, men's reproductive health. That's why they call Oshunwani Abobere Gbase, Abokunrin Gbato. Like Oshun kind of keeps your reproductive health like smooth. That's why people will say, "Oh, I went to Oshun and I got a child." It's not like Oshun dashed them a child. It's that they were able to address the specific medical issue they were having that prevented them from having that child. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these are things that we lost because we lost our language, and we've become distant from our source, our roots, and we express ourselves and we think in English, and then you say, "Oh, Nigeria is a bad place. Nothing good is happening here." I can tell you that a lot of good things are happening within the Sheshe community. But when I wrote Lakiriboto, I just started off my Sheshe journey. Ishashe is the way of like it says, it's the foundation, the roots, the spring where Yoruba people came from. Your parents, from Ifa, from Orisha, from Dirumole, from Ilidumari. That is Ishashe from Egbe. So I just started my journey in Ishashe. And that's what actually gave me the bravery to write such a salacious book. Um, so the third meaning of life street slang, um, which was which people used to refer to women who, who have relationship with other women, women who date women, women who have sex with women. It's a street slang. I love Fuji a lot. And one of my fiction is called um, uh, about Abasa Konde was the one that sang What's Up Mama.
Ah, I think her network. I think we got disconnected. Her network. I don't
I was
know.
going to suggest that she make a call. So, is it possible to do the
That's
telephone version?
that's with her phone.
Yeah.
Like WhatsApp?
Oh, yeah. Like, I thought the Zoom had a version, like make a conversation
All
through a phone
right.
call. Maybe I'm
I don't
mixing it up.
have her. I don't have. Okay, so she joins via her phone.
No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
The Zoom invite
Modupe,
has a phone.
correct. That's what Mo is talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. People can call into
So
calls
is it
and vid
so
whatever.
in the link in the invite that was sent
Yes,
out? Is the link
correct,
there?
correct,
Okay.
correct.
Who
Yeah,
has her
you don't
number?
need to do anything.
Like, can
I
you
have a
message her?
number.
I don't have her number.
All right, hold on,
Maybe
guys.
let her join that way.
Let me call her. Maybe
Okay,
just
call
call
her.
her.
Let's go. Yeah.
Right, Ayo, as soon as I find her. Yeah, there you go. Okay, please someone disconnect me.
Okay. Let me remove you.
Yes, please.
Okay. Now if I remove you, you won't be able to join. So idea what happened? Blah 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 blah. Let's admit Zenit.
So should we all go off and rejoin? If the ones has to go off.
No, I don't think it will. Let me see. So this is here on the screen. Yeah. Because when I try to remove her, and it's asking me who do you want to report. So let Lide call her. Hi Zenit, good to see you. Are you at work?
Hi. No, I am home, but just with the young one.
Okay. The other joined, she just went off. I think her network, so we're trying to figure that out. Let me apologize in advance for our Nigerian network.
I found it interesting. She had said the publishers weren't going to publish her book.
In Nigeria.
And I thought, yeah.
Understandable.
It's still this thing of how, so that is why I question authenticity. How authentic can you be? I'll give you an example. When I worked in Lagos, I worked on a Ford Foundation project that dealt with queer people, but we couldn't use that word. So we came across as sexual health and rights, reproductive health. So when my boss, my director then will go to programs and go and speak up for the rights, our rights. People, everybody should be free. In the beginning, I used to feel, wow, this man has guts. But then he made a statement one time. The funders had asked him, okay, so when you went and you spoke up about XYZ, where was our bus parked? And he said, our bus was parked further down the road. Does that make any sense? Means he went, he made the statement, he defended, queer rights, everybody deserves freedom, blah, blah, blah. But he came out of the place and he had to walk because people would have followed him and targeted our bus and destroyed that bus. And then they would have followed us all the way to the office and maybe burnt the office down. So it's still this thing of, okay, how authentic can you be? Yeah. I met this man. There is this popular Nigerian queer pastor, Wale Macaulay. He was popular then in the UK and then in Nigeria. And I know when I worked there, I got to meet him. Nice guy. And when I met him, I was wondering, I was asking myself, what was I expecting? He's just human, right? So when she said that people didn't want to publish, it's still this thing of, morals. They will say you are selling. Why are you writing? Why are you publishing this kind of thing? You are encouraging. You are enabling. Because the Bible says, flee from every appearance of evil. So if you publish that kind of book, you are also promoting evil in the Nigerian context. Let me see. I think she's trying to join us now. Let's see. Okay, maybe I hope she's.
I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's okay. So is that with your? Are you with your phone on your phone now? Is it better? Let's see.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. Actually, I switched to another network.
Okay. Yes, this is clearer.
Is this better? Is it clearer?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool.
You said something about Isheshe. I've never heard that word before.
Oh yeah, it's a collective for people who practice Orisha, who practice Ifa, who basically are still living like pre-colonial times. In fact, we live like colonialism never happened. So yeah. So that's Isheshe. Like I'm an Obatala, Yosha Obatala, and we have Yosha Oshu. That means I can administer to I care for people. But Obatala is more of the creative. Oshun is the reproductive health one. There's Shogo who works with people like, so they're different.
Okay.
I call them guilds under Ishashe.
Okay. So are those the people you see at the Oshun Shrine during the festivals?
Yes, it's not just during the festivals. For example, during Oshun Festival, a lot of people there are actually Oshun people. They are Oshun, they are Ya and Babosha Oshun and Onifa, and yes, you see a lot of them there. Yeah, you do. Not
Oh,
all of them, but a lot of them, especially those who work with Oshun. I work with Oshun too, but I don't usually go during the festival.
okay. Because when I was in secondary school and visited Oshogbo, I know I went to the shrine. I went to look around, walked around it. I
Yeah,
went more for the arts, but I
yeah,
felt it was very interesting.
yeah,
Okay, so let me go down to
yeah.
the characters in the book, and before I open the floor for every other people, it's interesting how you mix, sexuality, patriarchy, Olori Ebi, and then Morieba is someone I'm really, really interested in. Despite her wealth and what she could do for the family, the disrespect, I didn't get it. And then when Olori Ebi tried to blackmail her, I didn't see it going that way. When he said he started with she
Yeah.
likes women, and he was going to use that to blackmail her. Talk to us about Morieba and writing her character, because for me, she represents power and family conflict and sexuality. Talk to us about that. And I think it's not a common name too, Morieba.
Um,
It's connected. Oh no, I think it's the network again. How is Lady? Your network, we lost you there. We can't.
and sexuality.
Okay.
I've gone off again.
Okay, you're back now.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay, I think I'm really not nice at all. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can still hear me. Please be interjecting once more so that I'll know that you're hearing me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so when you talk about family and sexuality, one of the major things I've discovered about the Yoruba in my work with them is like actually people's sexuality shouldn't be other people's business. Who
Mm-hmm.
you're having sex with, who you are not having sex with, where you are, it shouldn't be other people's business. But because of HIV/AIDS, and then when funding started coming from the global north, they wanted to know your sexuality. They wanted to know who you are sleeping with. I don't know what that has to do with HIV/AIDS, but that's what happened. And of course, when you talk about sex in society that has been, like in pre-colonial times, people were very, very open about sex. In Ondo State, for example, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. In Ondo State, for example, there's this wele that they put on their face. In fact, there's a song that I remember. Ipele momuso wale, ipele momuso wale, weri ipele mi. And the song, in essence, is just saying, you see all the marks on my faces, that's the number of lovers I've had.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That means pele ni mo fi ń ṣe òwò àlè. That's I use my pele to like get lovers. So and that's how open and people were back then. But then colonialism came and the shame associated with having sex, especially women having sex, the shame associated with it. Even currently, in the world as is, when you know that you're having sex, there's a tag of ashawo that you have,
Mm-hmm.
like you are a prostitute. You know, like if you're a woman and you dress a certain way, you're a prostitute. If you're a woman and you are independent, you're a prostitute. If you're a woman, you have a lot of money, you're a prostitute. In fact, you just can't escape this prostitution allegation as a woman currently. So when it now comes to going against the grain, society has been designed in such a way that it must be heterosexual in nature, because that's the only way that everything will control the father, the mother, and the little children, and everybody living happily ever after. And everybody else that doesn't fit into that box is excluded from the opportunities. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
You went off, came back on.
Of oppression.
Yeah.
For people who go against the grain. So when you look at Moriba in the book, you'll see that it took her a while to get herself, even to get herself together. And it took the love of other people for her to even get to that point, you know, because she experienced all the reason why people were even like respectful to her in prostitutes, guy, because she had money, and all of them like collecting money from her. You know, if she didn't have money, nobody would respect her. Yeah.
Nope.
Reducing herself and kind of just doing whatever they tell her to do because she doesn't want them to accuse her of being a show any longer. Which, of course, if you look at the because where she gets all that money from. So I just used Moriba. If you look at that book, the whole book actually is about Moriba. It's just that Moriba wasn't featured as the main character. Her story was told through the lens of other characters, the four other characters in the book of Oloriebi. It was told through the lens of Tola. It was told through the lens of Morimi and Kudirat. So the Morimi, the Moriba in the book is actually the pivotal character. She's the reason why the book is existed in the first place. And by is a what do you call it? It's a proverb of women that have been treated like that. She's like a prototype of how strong and powerful women are treated.
Okay. Thank you very much. I see Tosin's hand up. Tosin?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us, Ayodele, and for the book that you wrote. My question is along the lines of kind of what you've been talking about with Morieba and women who go against the grain. Just before you joined, I think it was Modupe that was talking about how um, it usually ends up being women who are able to rescue and raise up other women. But often you find that the women who play that role are the ones who have gone against the grain at great cost, um,
Mm,
and
mm,
usually have to have something that will uh, still shield them against that. Often it's wealth, success, money.
mm,
Um, and
mm,
so I thought it was very great to see that uh, in the book. And in a way, it was kind of a mirror for me as well, because I say over the
mm,
last 3, 4 years, I have essentially been a shelter for victims of domestic violence, both for family
mm,
and
mm,
friends. And I am a woman who has
mm,
grown up who is has always kind of been against the grain at a certain cost,
mm,
but in living
mm.
authentically that way, it put me in a position to be able to help other people. And then
Yeah.
just segueing from Morieba back to Oloriabi, I was a bit stunned later on in the book to discover that Morieba was essentially um, funding Oloriabi's lifestyle to an extent, just given
Yes.
antagonism and acrimony that he had towards her
Yeah.
But he was
Yeah.
still willing to collect his money for her. He still had a certain modicum of respect that, I guess part of Yoruba culture is that
Mm,
you help out your elders. And Moriaba was
mm,
walking that line with him, and I was shocked that she still had her
mm,
faucet open for him despite all he did to always
mm,
try and disrespect her and pull her down. And
mm,
he
mm,
especially was homophobic towards her, but then somewhere in the book as well,
mm.
it wasn't fully explicit, but it seemed like Oloribi himself uh was on the queer spectrum, based on, the
Yeah.
scammer that came to, that his son brought into him. It seemed like he was having some interesting feelings
Yeah.
there. Not that he interrogated them,
Yeah.
but it just,
Yeah.
again, it just leads me to like the society in Nigeria, how people are um, just not interrogating themselves deeply enough. So you find people who are extremely homophobic, who themselves tend to have homosexual tendencies. And so there's just this huge contradiction that we're living in, and it's just kind of hamstringing everybody from freedom and expression. Yeah.
Miss
Hello?
Ayo.
Okay.
Are you still there?
Yeah, we're here. I thought you were going to say something. Okay, I
Okay.
see Modupe.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's,
Let me just
yeah.
respond to yes. Was that Tosin, right? Um so one of my firm beliefs is like everybody now spaghetti. When you put them inside hot water, now you gonna know whether they be spaghetti or not, right? And even if you look at the relationship between men, amongst men, it's very, very homoerotic. The way they listen to other men, they only pay attention to other men, they only support other men, they want to do stuff for other men that they will not ordinarily do for women. Also about how Moriba kept funding Oloriebe in spite of his violence towards her. It's just like a way to show how we as a people, we tend to just not like kind of I feel like like that was actually something that was started by Alaja, the one that died at the beginning of the book. She was one that was funding Oloriebi's lifestyle. And the reason why they would do that is because ọmọ ẹni lọmọ ẹni jẹ́, ọmọ ẹni ò ní ṣèdíjẹ́ lẹ́ńkẹ́ ká lọ filẹ̀kẹ̀ sídi ọmọ ẹlòmíràn. They won't say, oh, you're a bad person in a Yoruba setting. They won't say, oh, this person is a horrible person. Nobody should talk to this person again. Right? They will say, oh, this person is like this, so let's keep him at arm's length. But of course, we're not going to see you starve, right? And of course, Oloriebe also is the public facing, is public face of that family, and they need to maintain a certain public presence. And somebody needs to take care of that man because he's just a worthless person that can't do any kind of business for himself. So most of the things that they do is just like when you see certain public figures, you find out that it's not them, it is the people behind them, it's the women behind them that are funding all these things that you're saying. I mean, it even happens in marriages, quote and unquote. Sorry, I don't believe in that institution in the sense of what it is now. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can. Yes, I can.
Okay,
We can.
okay, cool. So, like marriages, you see a lot of marriages, and you see the husband and the wife, and they're driving to church, and they're going to mosque, and their children are looking so good, and everybody looks so happy on the outside. And later you find out that actually it's the woman that's doing all the work. She's the one funding the house, the one funding the husband, so that she can present him to the world and say, see, me too, I have a husband. Please don't bug my life. Let me free me so I can do other things. Here's a man. You want me to marry a man? Here he is. And see, fine boy, yes, please engage with him. Don't talk to me. I have better things to do with my time. And a lot of times, this is what happens. So Oloriabi, because you will see that Oloriabi was even treated unfairly by the girls in his family because they didn't trust him. They didn't believe in him. They didn't support him. Nobody asked why. Nobody wanted to investigate anything further. Nobody wanted to know about his own trauma. They just want him to be there as figurehead. Olori Ebi, congratulations, you have won an award, kind of thing. Even the way they treat him, the people were treating him with the modicum of contempt. You see in the book, there's always this little bit of contempt, even when they are talking to him, when they're with him, and there's no way contempt won't show, eventually in your relationship with people. So it's really it's just a cycle of abuse and violence, really. Yeah.
Thank you. Modupe, I see your hand up.
Thank you very much, Ayodele. It's a pleasure having you in our midst and listening to you. So for me, growing up in Nigeria, I believe there's this thing about living a fake life. And for me, I feel it's so normal. It's strange to want to be yourself, right? And how I see it in not just even in books. It's we talked about Moriba being the main character. I feel she was the one using her muscle to lift everyone up and make a difference in the children's life, Kudirat's life, her aunties. She was that person. How do you feel? What does it take for a woman to become like that? You know how you said when you wrote this book, you're going through challenges, and part of it was your encounters and how it's physically gingered you to take up this. How do you be? What do you think it takes for a woman to become like that, to be our authentic self? Because I feel not even just in this book, all the other books we've read and or talked about, it feels like there's just that struggle to be yourself. And for me, I was going to say that in all the characters, to be honest with all of you, I feel like I've always fit in somehow. The only time I haven't fit in, I would say, was coming to Canada and being in the midst of other white people. I came from a good home. I'm married, I have children, I have a job, I schooled abroad. So I've never had that feeling of being different. My first experience, I would say, was being here. And how do you my question is, how do you help people be able to identify? I feel like being here, it helped me understand people's differences. I understood the feeling of you're different. I didn't feel different when I was growing up in Nigeria. Never, I've always had friends. I've always been popular in high school. So I had boyfriends. I didn't struggle to do well in school. My first experience was here. How do you get people to get to that point, to become more sensitive to the fact that it's okay to be different? It's okay to love and accept people who are different from who you are and how you've grown up. I don't know if that question makes sense, but that's my
I know my answer might shock you. Funding. So in the past few years, more than a few years now, like 10 years now, I've been like kind of mentoring a bunch of young folks. Most of them, they've had problems at home, problems with their family, problems with society, and they become like loners, like they become outliers, and they feel like something's wrong with them. And so, not like I had a lot of money myself. I still don't. I mostly am cash strapped most of my life. So, what we did was we started doing programs and started supporting people to find like what they are really good at, right? Like, oh, I like writing. Oh, I love not like anything that society is telling them to do. Most of them came to me when they were undergraduates at UI and other schools around the Southwest. And all we just did was we had these little programs to just see what can happen. We have Adire, we have computer programs where they design stuff. We have, most of these programs that we had are like programs that where they can design the worlds that they want to see. And now they hardly ever call me for anything. That's how independent they have become. They are making their own money, they are getting grants, they're doing things, and they are very, very different. They have not gone back in hiding. And the reason why that happened is because somebody cared enough to put their money where their mouth is. It's very easy to gather people together and say, oh, you people don't think it's not good to be in what do you call it, to not be different. When um you're like, how do you put it, when your access to wealth and opportunities is affected, you will behave. There are very few people that are stubborn, like, for example, a friend of mine who is broker than I am and still stubbornly clings to what they are, I'm very, 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 very stubborn. Very few people can do it. And one shouldn't have to. One shouldn't have to starve. One shouldn't have to lack in order to like take a stand. But when people now say, "Oh yeah, so you're different, right? But you need money to eat. You need money to go to school. Your parents are not giving you money. Okay, you can call me. I can give you the odds, thousands here and there. When they have that, that builds people's confidence. Because when you money, the reason why a lot of women don't leave terrible marriages, it's not because they don't know what to do. It's not because they're stupid. It's not because they are foolish. It is because they know how the world will see them, and they will remove their support, and they will remove your funds. Anything that affects your funding, man, you will behave. People don't like talking about money because, we shouldn't talk about money. And that's why a lot of people don't work with me. I talk about money a lot. Oh. In fact, I ask people for money. I say, come on, please, come and give me money. I don't have money. Because when your funds, when your access to the basics of life is affected, you will behave. A lot of women can't live at the marriages because they have children. If they live with those children, those guys, they won't take care of those children. They will be burdened with taking care of, and men use children as punishment. So for people to say, oh, I want to be supportive, I want to do this, I want to do that, there have to be somebody that they know they can rely on. I'll give you an example. I think about 4 or 5 years ago, a bunch of kids, they go to a party, and they were returning home. And they got to the gate of their estate, and people estates in Nigeria, you know how they are, decided that this bunch of kids are Yahoo Yahoo children. And they decided to arrest them. So at 1 a.m., no, around 3 a.m., I'm receiving a call from a bunch of scared children because these men were like on, all people knew, other people now got to them and went to rescue them from those people. Those didn't have access to me. These are little things. A child, one policeman sees a child and says that this child is a Yahoo Yahoo, the way they are dressed, and takes them to the police station, and they are assaulted, they are harassed. When that child comes out of that police station, the only thing that person will do is fake life. Please, I want to do fake life. If that will give me some peace and quiet. So I don't blame anybody for faking it. What I feel sad about is like faking it also breaks you in the long run, because the more you are disconnected from the real you, the more you are disconnected from your body, the more likely you open yourself up to diseases and illnesses, the more likely you are to open yourself up to other things that will affect your immune system, and that is why I'm like, when you don't go out as your authentic self, you are destroying yourself. But the society set up to ourselves over and over and over again. And whoever wants to like become their self, you don't have to like decide and make big say statements. It starts from the little things, as looking at yourself mirror, as your relationship, as your relationship with food, your relationship with yourself. I mean, these are things that once you are able to like start on that, because nobody's perfect. The Yoruba will say, "Aye doriko be around farming." This world is not supposed to be a perfect place. We're just here to have adventure, to enjoy ourselves, to do so in comfort and with some style and some panache. We're not here to like struggle and die working and pretend to enjoy our friends that we don't like. If I don't like you, I don't like you. Not here. I mean, people who know me very well. And it's not something that I do because I'm wicked. In fact, I like most people. But if I find out that you are likely to harm me, I will distance myself. But it also comes at a cost because the more you distance yourself from certain people in society, the more your funds is affected. And you need money to eat, you need money to wear clothes, you need money to move around, you need money to be able to tell people to go and fuck themselves. Really, sorry, I swore. So yeah, so like be yourself in Nigeria, be like the Yoruba call it Onshere, you know. That means you are playing a game that's not going to end well in your favor.
Thank you, Ayo. I'm just,
Thank you.
I need to learn something from you. I need to learn how to ask for money.
You should.
Because I don't know
Like
how to.
people to me as
I need to learn. I need to learn that. Yes, I need to learn how
I've
to
been
ask.
practicing.
Yes, I need to learn
I've been practicing.
how to ask for money. It
Yeah.
is when there's a question I ask, I look at and I think I ask, we had discussed this before. I think was it before you joined when I was talking about authenticity and how authentic one can be. Because we're talking about when you talk about successful women in Nigeria. No matter how successful you are, the question is there, whose husband is she? Or when they are profiling her, remember that picture that is put in the magazine, the wedding ring must show.
Yeah.
The wedding ring
Yeah.
must show. And they
Yeah.
must
Yeah.
put there, she is happily married with lovely
Dr.
children.
Mrs.
Uh-huh.
Yes. The
Even
children
if,
are always lovely.
yes,
Poor
even if
children.
all of them are ugly in that family, the children are always lovely.
Yes.
Yes,
They are always lovely.
exactly, with lovely children. And it's interesting how when we go back in culture, I know my background is in sociology and anthropology. And it says that what does not exist in a culture has no name. There's no name for it. But now I'm beginning to think that, when I think of
Yes.
Lakiriboto, I think that sometimes if things exist, there is, with the coming of colonization messed up a lot of things. If you look back at history, if you look even in art, there was this kind of, do I use the word reckless abandon? There was this kind of reckless abandon. When you look at
Yeah. Go
ancient
on.
artworks, you will see images with the large, prominent phalluses. You will see images in all kinds of
Hmm.
sexual positions. Women were
Hmm.
empowered. But when colonization came, they came with, oh, the woman is kept, the man is the head.
Hmm.
And people forget that
Hmm.
the first time they said, like I read somewhere, the first time black people encountered the word Jesus was a slave ship. The very first slave ship,
Yeah.
what was written on it. So
Hmm.
everybody now we now live in this fear of going to hell. Hey, if I let my passions fly, I might go to hell. Oh. So let me try and suppress it. Who gets to determine what is decent? Who gets to determine what is tasteless? Who gets to determine what is vulgar?
Hmm.
That is, yeah, these are questions I look at. Back in the day, I used to be very outspoken. You won't find a husband if you continue like this. So you need to calm down. And I say, okay, calm down and tolerate nonsense because I want to be, you need to learn to submit. Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked this question, how authentic? Tosin, I'll come to you, but there's somebody, the tragedy of this Tola Roberts, Tola/Rita, that split personality. I remember I first read about split personalities when I read this book by Sidney Sheldon, where tell me
Yeah.
your dreams. Yes, tell me your dreams.
Tell me your dreams.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why I came across that. So I'll let Tosin
Yeah.
ask a question, then you talk to us about Tola Roberts, the way postpartum depression was trivialized. As a child, they used to call it when growing up in the 80s. I know I used to hear people call it
Abisiwi.
temporary madness. And temporary madness. But what is the big deal now? People have 5, 10 children, only 1, 2. You're already acting like this. You are lazy.
Yeah.
So Tosin, ask your question, then we'll circle back to this.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I had to become mobile. I'm driving, so my camera is off. I'm really enjoying this conversation. Thank you all so much. My question is a little bit more on a different tangent. It has to do with the spirituality, the Sheshe practice, and the Orisha involved. I thought it was, I'm an Ifa practitioner as well. I'm an Egbe initiate and an Ifa initiate as well. I thought it was really amazing when you pointed out that issue, the Orisha issue, which a lot of people have kind of demonized and made equivalent to the Christian Satan, is that there is no equivalence. Their issue is not the opposite of good. It's not. They are not evil. And a lot of people, especially
They
with like
are actually,
Nollywood,
but they're also good. Yeah, of course, yes.
But like Nollywood and the narrative out there, Isheshe practice has been demonized, and people have taken it as, it's bad people who weaponize it against other people. They use it to do wickedness and kind of thing. And I thought it was very interesting that Olori Ebi tried to appease issue or appeal to issue to do bad things. And issue, I mean, he has issue. Sorry, they materialized, observed, was kind of monitoring the whole situation, and still did what they felt was balanced and just, despite the request of their initiates. So I was wondering if you could just talk a little bit about Isheshe practice, Orisha, and how people interact with these guilds and deities, and how there's still autonomy even in the spiritual. You can't just go to an Orisha and say, help me do this, and feed them this, and then they just do it because you asked it, even though you have horrible intentions.
Yes. Thank you so much for that question, because I recently had an experience. Like I said, Olobatala and Elerindilogun. So I have Erindilogun. I did my induction about 3 years ago. I'm an Adoshu. Adoshu shall go into Obatala. You see the kili around my neck. So this child comes to me and says this long story, and says she wants to ask if I saw certain things. And I said, okay. So we asked Ifa, and they recommended all the things that this child should do. And then this child came back and said, I'm going to give you, like, let's say 5% of the money of that we're going to use to make offerings. And then when I get the money, and that was what stopped me. I'm like, what do you mean by when you get the money? Is it money ritual? It's not money ritual. It's not money ritual. What the Orisha do is to smoothen out your path so that you can have access to opportunities, so that you can make money. They will not throw money at you. It's not like Nollywood that there's somebody in the cupboard spitting out money, 30 naira notes as per usual, that is going to make you multimillionaire and shit like that. As for the intent, see, that means it's when we die that we become a good person. In fact, in Isheshe, I'm sure you know, there are the Ajogun, they are Orisha too. Ajogun are like this chaotic Orisha that will enter into any gathering, and they will bring chaos gathering, right? That's how Isheshe embraces every part of us, the good, the bad. In fact, if you go into Isheshe and you belong to a compound, I'm not talking about worship houses. I mean real compounds. Like I belong to Popo Yemoja compound in Ibadan. We are currently even doing Yemoja and Yemoja. We're doing a Yemoja festival. I actually came on because of this event, because if I go there, there won't even be any network at all, because of all the energies that are there. The reason why I can't get whatever there is because of all the energies that are there. So, when you belong to a compound, what they want to, when you come as a stranger, they treat you as a visitor. They call you alejo. That means you're a visitor, and they treat you accordingly. But when you now step beyond that and become an inducted, they still treat you as alejo up to a point. But when they see that you're actually serious, they will try you. They will test you. They want to see your vulnerabilities. They really are. They don't want to come there smiling at everybody. They want to see when you are fighting, how ugly you get, the things you can say when you are angry, so that they will know how to now interact with you. It still goes back to how Olori Ebi was being treated and being still cared for, in spite of the fact that everybody still, they are like contemptuous towards the way he is. They will still they will accord you respect because of your ori. Because ori la koko mambo kato borisha forisha. When your ori does not align, it's a problem for the whole compound. When your ilé tó bá ṣì ń tòrò, ọmọ àlè ibẹ̀ ò tí dàgbà ni, They said a home or a compound that everybody's at peace and everything is so nice. It's because the bastard amongst them, sorry for using that word, has not grown up to a level yet. Because the Yoruba don't believe that everything, that's the difference between Christianity and even other religions and Isheshe. That's why there's no heaven and there's no hell. You create your heaven and your hell right here where you are. Once you depart this adventure called the earth, you're going on other adventures. You're not going to any heaven and hell and singing. If you look at the way heaven is even described, it's basically going to London from Nigeria. There are good roads. You will not eat again. You'll be singing hallelujah all day. I do that all day as an Onisheshi. That's all I do. I don't have good roads or anything, but what I do is sing all day to my Orisha and attend to them and attend to my work, and go in company of other Olorisha and be joyful, So like, these are things that have been used to like scare us, to enslave our minds, because once your mind is enslaved, everything else is gone. You can't think beyond. It's like there are these chains that are holding you bound, and you, no matter how hard you try, there's a saying called that I like these days. It's called the Beriagba. Being Orolori. When you're growing, when you're flourishing, it's like you're stretching yourself beyond your boundaries. You're stretching your like, thinking itself is almost like madness. Having to sit down and consider who you are. You will want to go. You say, maybe I should just go to the road to start picking paper right now. And even people who pick paper in Yoruba, they are considered Orisha because they are portals. So there's no one or no being that is discarded, no stones, not the ants. The world eats itself. That is why we call it the circle of life. Then people say, oh, I'm a vegetarian. I'm saying, but plants have their lives too. As an Onisheshe or anything, you have to go very early in the morning and you have to talk to the plant and ask for permission. Anytime I want to like make offerings of chickens or goats, I have to ask that goat or chicken for permission. I don't just go and grab anything because I'm the alpha human being. Human beings are part of nature. Eshu is good. Eshu is evil. Eshu is everything. The reason why the Orisha understands us so well is because they have been in our shoes. They know us. They've seen themselves and they see themselves in us. That's why they are so empathetic. That's why they will always.
I think your network got cut off there.
Yeah. It was first Obatala that brought. I know people say, oh, they call it fantasy or whatever, Yoruba mythology. It's not mythology. I can stand here. I say, I can declare, because I've seen it. I've experienced it myself. I've seen it through other people. So when we talk about Eshu is the messenger. Without Eshu, we can't even communicate with the Osha. We can't communicate with Olodumare. Iyami are the ones that surround Ite Olodumare. Iyami, the mothers are the ones, and when I use the word mothers, it doesn't necessarily mean women in the sense of women, because it's not every person that presents as a woman that is a woman. And when you're talking, I'm going to circle back to Lady Lucia about women and their power. Women were not empowered. Women are powerful. They're the ones that holds the markets down. They are the ones that are Iyaloja. They are the ones that are Iyalode. When you say you are Iyaloja, that means you are a mathematician. You know commerce. They don't just put anybody there. You know commerce in Yoruba. You know mathematics in Yoruba. If a person comes to you, you know the mathematical, you know the calculations. That's why they make them. And because you can't do it by yourself, there's no genius. You're supported by a community of people who teach, who admonish, who are your OPPs. I call them my OPPs, you know, my opposition. Because no human being was born that doesn't have an ops, man. You got to have enemy somewhere. Even this world where it's constructed is your enemy because it doesn't want you to go past certain glass ceilings. And once you have that understanding, and you have the understanding as your head, as Alason, as a lone traveler that is here to enjoy, it kind of changes where you see the world. You don't want to suffer now. Why would I want to suffer in this my life? This one life, you know? So women, what happened was like women became, because they know that women are the ones that bring wealth. They're the ones that the market people. They're the ones that will sit down in one corner and calculate how much they're spending in the household for the whole month. I say, okay, so this is how I'm going to get these funds. My salary is not going to be enough. Okay, maybe if I do this and add this to this, this will be able to run the household. They don't have to go and use a software to do that. I know softwares that do that. And I know women do this thing every day. Those software are not designed for women, they're designed for men. And
yeah, you just got cut off. I think it's the network.
Just sit down and be a pretty face. Just sit down there. Don't worry. You want to get the deductions about, okay, if this my action will affect my family this way, and I will lose certain things, you know. But women, before they take one step, they have seen the future. They design futures. So when you look at Eshu is a day. They are the one that communicates with the Osha. They communicate with us. Eshu, they're very, very cheeky. They will push and test your limits. They will make suggestions to you and see if you two foolishly agree without asking first again and say, are you sure this is what you want me to do? You know, Eshu is the my Babosha will say we carry our issue with us. That issue is in our belly button because they are the eternal witness. They witness our lives from even before we were born. All the genes that made us up, the things that built us, that made us look like our grandmother, that made us look like our great-grandfather somewhere, that made us look like one auntie like that lives in London. This is exactly how that child looks. Those people that contributed their genes to us, they also contributed their issues. So they have our history. They know us very well, more than we know ourselves. And I stopped explaining and explanating to people because once you start explaining, they put you in a funny place. You're always trying to say, if she's not Satan. Okay, she's Satan. Okay, let us move on. To you. They said, no, Lobi, okay, you tried, Yosha. If they have ever lied, even the ones that say the person presents themselves to the Osha and say, I am here, I'm willing. They are willing to work with you, especially if you have access to their children that they need to reach. And the Osha always, they treat us like children, like we don't know anything. One year, I can't do it by myself. I don't know anything. I was recently come into a gathering of people and they said I should do certain things. I said, please, but I don't know how to do this thing. It's not that I don't know how to do it. But when you're in the presence of elders, you go there to learn. You think that you know it, but you don't know it. They'll do it in such a way that you say, oh, okay, that's a new one. And when you become an elder too, you teach. And that's why we have our egungun with us. Our egungun are always with us. Those who have passed on before us. Those Tomagbegun Lewa, they come to give us gifts. They come to make blessings to us. I always make sure that I'm present around egungun, although I'm not supposed to witness them, So these are very logical ways of seeing the world. Because once your tongue is twisted and you can't think in your language, it becomes so hard. And that's why Isheshe is so important, to connect you back. Because they understand English, they understand French, they understand all your languages, but you have to be connected with them first so that they can understand you. So I don't know if I've gone off point. Sorry, I went off a bit there.
No, but it's beautiful. I like your explanation because I just wrote down here, when you are in the presence of elders, you go there to learn. It is sad how, Yoruba is a language that I have always desired to learn because there is so much in there. It is so sad that through the years, over time, colonization has washed away. We've lost so much knowledge, indigenous knowledge.
Yes.
We have lost so much. We've lost so much indigenous knowledge, and it is very sad. Everything has been demonized. It's been demonized, and like somebody said, that it's so interesting how people are attached to a religion that once enslaved them.
That still enslaves them.
And still enslaves them. Yeah, still enslaves them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I've seen images, like I'm a Catholic, we go into the church, we genuflect before the Virgin Mary, and then somebody puts an image, puts that and said, oh, this is good, and then puts a shrine and puts a deity there and said, oh, and this is evil. Really? That's just the same thing that was just, a lot of whitewashing. So so it's beautiful to really and really go back in time. I remember back in the day, I used to like to braid my hair and use cowries. And somebody said, hey, you don't know what cowries are. You don't know that cowries are demonic. You don't know this is that. I'm like, please.
Cowries are just money.
Yes, cowries used to be money for exchange. But please talk to us about.
They still are. They are still being spent.
Oh, really? Okay, you see? Please, I don't want to forget the story. Rita.
Yes.
Yes. Postpartum, the trivializing.
Yes, back to Rita.
Yeah, back to Rita. The trivializing of women's trauma. Oh,
yes.
People give birth every day. Why is yours so special? Has personality.
Well,
Rita.
Yes.
The vulgarity of what she was doing to that husband of hers. Please talk to us about that. That was my surprise.
Louisa, that's not postpartum though. That's you exploring further information regarding BDSM.
So I asked,
but go off though.
No, so the question, so that's why the question I asked was the trivialization of women's trauma, and then split personalities, and then Rita, you understand, the vulgarity, the audacity she had.
Three different questions.
Yes.
Three different things.
Yes, I did see the things. So it's
let me know, please.
No. I just want when it's my turn, I just wanted to say something about postpartum depression, and from my experience, when I get a chance.
Anyway, because I have to short. Yeah.
So it's interesting the things people do in the secrets. I mean, behind closed doors. So let Ayodele,
Okay. So I'll about Rita Tola. When I wrote her, I wrote her from the point of view of a woman that's gone through postpartum depression. and how I was treated through the process. But when I now rewrote her in the new edition of the book, I wrote her as a person that has now seen why that is, and why it's important for that to happen, and why women have postpartum depression. In Yoruba, they call it abisinwi. In fact, yes. In fact, when a woman puts to bed, they say "Eku ewomo." That means literally translates into we congratulate you on escaping the death that birthing a child brings. In Yoruba compounds, when you have a baby, you are not expected to raise that child by yourself. You are not expected to have a baby and then you are the one carrying feeder up and down and changing clothes and bathing for the child. Everybody says, oh, first 3 months. No, for longer. Because at every stage, that child has someone taking care of. There's Yagba, there's Yakiniko somewhere, there's Baba Kiniko somewhere, there's Baba somewhere. You put to bed that you become a Baramiji. Once you get pregnant, you now become 2 people. What happened with Tola? The person that she used to be and the person she wants to be, as splits them.
We lost you there.
Hear me now?
Yes, you're back. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, with Rita, can you hear me?
Yes, I
I
can.
think we're gone again.
Yes, I can. I can hear.
Hello? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So with Rita and Tola, what happened with her? Herself with herself, you know, she was unable to reconcile the person that she was to the person that she wants to become. So she had this, and oh yeah, it's postpartum depression. No, it's not just postpartum depression. You have a person that has 3 or 4 children. Do you know how toddlers can be? You know, and you are the one doing all that work by yourself. And so for a woman that gives birth, you're supposed to be treated like a baby yourself. You're supposed to be taken care of, to be washed, to be fed, to be listened to be cared for. But because of capitalism and the patriarchy, they need the woman to be up and about to take care of the house. So they will trivialize what everybody very well knows.
You went off there.
If you die, your husband will marry another wife to go to church. When a man dies and leaves a wife and children, they expect the wife not to remarry. But when a wife dies, they will expect the man to remarry immediately, because we've been told that our primary duty is to care for men and take care of them and make sure they are fine, even if it means we are killing ourselves in doing it.
You went off.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I come back. I went quiet.
Yes.
And when I'm using men and women in my own context, all the intersections have been erased completely from everything, in spite of evidence from even scientists, Western scientists, that people exist.
Here we got disconnected there. The network.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, that's just with yourself and your future self that causes it. So it's not like, oh, she's mad or like, and everything she's doing it towards a purpose, because that's who she would not be allowed to, that part of herself that has been suppressed over the years will insist on coming out one way or the other, you know. So yeah, I don't know if you can hear me though.
Yes, you're back now.
With it, I would always do something, and starting with, and also, how I started with.
Oh, please. Okay, I've muted that person. That Lola, it's Lola. I've muted her. Okay. Ayo, we lost you there.
No, I went quiet so that I can see who's talking. That's all.
No, I muted. Yes, it's one of I've muted the person.
Okay. So yeah, so basically that's just what I wanted to say, that the split in the book is just to show somebody who has been suppressed, and that's Tola. And Tola wasn't being like, oh, I'm going to be vulgar. That Tola, the vulgar part of Tola that wasn't allowed to come out, came out. That's it. It's just as simple as. Hello? Hello?
Ayo, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes. How much more time do you have?
Because I have to return to Body, and I have to like get dressed and pack my stuff.
Okay, so
And
maybe because this conversation for me, I feel that we still need to continue it. So we can either continue WhatsApp, or we would find time
yes.
to meet again, because December is usually like time off. But I feel that we need to still figure out a time to meet again, you know.
Help us, Ayo. Help us.
Help us. Send you. I mean, we'll send
Please,
you.
Auntie Laide, please, I beg, don't scandalize me.
No.
Auntie Laide, put me low.
I'm
Everybody's traveling December.
I'm a gift.
We'll send you a little gift of data, and data, but it would be really good if we could. Yes, we'll send you a little gift of data, because it will be good.
Thank you.
Yes, I feel that it's something that either we continue on WhatsApp, or we set up a time again sometime maybe in December, and just get together and just sit down and just chat about it.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
You can even start a WhatsApp group.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So but let me see, so that we don't delay you. Can we take our group photo? Oh, my camera is off.
Yeah, sure.
Please, who are the people? If you have the book, let me see. Look at this.
Along with the book.
Jason, why are we seeing Jason there now? That is Jason's face I'm seeing here. Let's see. Okay, let me do the gallery view. Okay, all right. Where's everybody with their book? How come only 1, 2, 3, 4, only few of us have our cameras on? Ms. H, I'm going to call you. I know, I owe you a call. Okay, please, people, let's see your smiley faces with your books. Okay, so let me see. You say you need to go get dressed. Anyway, I just want to thank you. So we have millions of questions. I will just tell people just to type out their questions. We'll send you the questions. and then we'll make our
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
Yes, we'll make our time to meet
Okay.
up on via Zoom or WhatsApp and still talk about it, because
Okay.
there's so much we've not covered anything now. We've not
Nothing, no.
Please
And
go and read
everyone,
another book.
everyone,
we've not talked about Alagbado
anyone,
Estate.
everyone, please, please
Go
leave
and
a
read
review for
another
Ayo.
book. Oh,
Please
ma'am.
leave a review for Iya, please.
Yes,
Please.
please. Everybody leave a review, please. Leave reviews. That's
Thank you
one
so
thing.
much.
Yes.
Thank you
Tell
so much.
everybody
You're so
about
kind.
this book.
Yeah. So we'll get through to you through Lide. Yes, please.
All right.
You so
Thank
much.
you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
engaging the
everybody.
book. I really appreciate
Thank
it. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ayodele.
Bye now.
Olofintuade.
Olofintuade.
Olotu.
Yeah.
I guess.
Thank you
Olofintuade.
so much.
Please don't talk. Don't talk. I can do your own too. I will call you Daile, Dale,
Darling.
Dale.
Okay.
Thank you
All
so much.
right.
We'll let you go.
Bye, everybody.
Back and chat.
Ciao, ciao.
Yeah.
Yeah.